So I saw The Life of Chuck, and let me just move that, sorry. Yes, I saw The Life of Chuck, and, guys, so I remember when I first watched The Truman Show, and I remember, like, stepping away from the movie and almost kind of wishing that I hadn't seen it at first, because I couldn't stop thinking about it and it was ruining my life. That's this movie for me. Goddamn, dude, like, oh my god. So, and like, it's interesting, because every time that I, like, recommend this movie to people, they ask me, well, what's it about? And I almost don't even know how to answer that question. I really don't. I mean, I guess plot-wise, the only thing you can say, I mean, again, the trailers for this were also, like, very vague as well. You couldn't really quite get a sense of, like, what the plot was supposed to be. So I guess all I could give for an explanation is that, in the start of the movie, like, it's the end of the world. Literally, it's the end of the world, like, shit's on fire, earthquakes, hurricanes, natural disasters everywhere, like, the world is coming to an end, everybody's freaking the fuck out. And it centers around these two exes. There's a teacher and a nurse, who are basically kind of, like, reconciling because, it's the end of the world, naturally. And they live in this town, and they keep seeing these, like, posters and, like, these billboards, these advertisements that say, like, 39 great years, thanks for everything, like, Charles Krantz. Or, like, Chuck, this guy. And they're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why do we keep seeing these ads everywhere? And at first, like, it's funny, like, they're joking about it, like, there was, like, TV ads, there was, like, radio ads, there was, like, posters, billboards everywhere. And they're just kind of joking about it, how, like, nobody seems to know, like, who this person is, and yet there's these ads everywhere. And then it gets unsettling, like, they're, like, to the point, like, they're literally seeing these things, like, everywhere, and it just gets, like, creepier and creepier. And, like, you're wondering, like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is this? Like, who is this person? Like, why are these ads everywhere? And that's about as much as I can tell you, plot-wise. I really can't get into anything else without, like, giving too much of this movie away. But if you've seen the trailers, you at least know that, like, part of the movie is going to, like, center around this character, Chuck Krantz, and, like, go into his life. So you know that, like, obviously, like, we're gonna see this a person played by, Tom Hiddleston. And, guys, Tom freaking Hiddleston. This man. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, so you know how people, like, say, like, they make jokes that, like, white people can't dance? This man just killed that statement forever. God damn, dude, like, I mean, like, I knew that, like, he could dance, like, I'd seen, like, clips of, like, him, like, in interviews and stuff, like, dancing and stuff, but, like, holy shit, dude, like, this man can freaking dance, like, goddamn. And, he's so good, like, he's so much fun to watch, he brings just so much joy, because, I mean, that's really, like, at the end of, like, what, like, the, expression of this, like, it's just expressions of, like, joy in life and in, like, enjoying life, and he really brings so much of that, which is interesting because he's actually not in the movie for that long, all things considered. I mean, again, like, we spend a good, like, chunk of the movie, like, kind of, like, away from, this, his adult life, and we do spend, like, a good chunk of the movie is actually him as a child. And speaking of which, the kid that plays him what is this kid's name? Benjamin Pajak? Is that how you say it? He is so freaking good. Oh my god, like, I don't know if he's been in anything before, but I'm very excited to see what else this kid does, because he is freaking spectacular, and he also does dance in the movie. Again, very, very good dancer. And, I mean, like, he just sells every single scene. Like, he is just so, you see him, like, interacting with, like, his grandparents, played by Mark Hamill, and Mia Sara, oh my god, where has she been? Oh my god, like, I can't remember, I don't know, like, when the last time that she's, like, been in anything, at least not that I've seen. And I mean, I know that I'm just kind of rambling it up, but like goddamn, the whole cast is like so freaking phenomenal in this. And like it's yeah, I don't even know what else to say. Again, like I'm trying to like figure out like what parts of this I can talk about without just like giving a lot of the movie away. Um but yeah, and I guess, like, again, if I did have to be, like, a bit of a nitpicky asshole, because, I mean, of course, I mean, that's what I do best, I could have done a little without the narration, because there are, like, a lot of parts of, like, the movie, I think that's, Nick Offerman who's doing the narration for this, where, like, they'll, like, show, like, a character, and they'll be like, this person is blah, 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 and I feel like it's not, like, I understand why they did it. Like, I feel like it is kind of necessary at some points, but it does get excessive to me for a bit. Like, there are parts where I'm like, okay, like, I don't need this. Like, I want to see, like, how this plays out. Like, I don't need to, like, hear, like, an explanation of everything that's, like, going on in this character's head. Like, I feel like I can kind of, like, at least kind of partially figure that out for myself. So I guess, like, if that's, like, just one, like, nitpick I had to say about it. And I also, like, it's very jarring hearing Tom Hiddleston try to talk in an American accent. Like, he's doing his best, but, like, you definitely still hear, like, the inflections of, like, his real accent coming through, and it's like, I don't, this doesn't quite work, man, like, I don't know. So that was a bit distracting as well. But, I mean, other than that, like, I mean, the cast is phenomenal, the music is great, the editing, everything, like, I can't think of, like, anything that I, like, would really, like, that would really turn me away from this. I can't really think of anybody that would, like, actively dislike this. I mean, I know that, like, the way that the movie is structured, again, without going too much into spoilers, some people might not be the biggest fan of, like, the types of movies that do that. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say, but please go see this movie. Just trust me on this, guys. Yeah, and I guess I can kind of talk a little bit more about, the more quote-unquote spoilery parts. If I've kind of like just given my general thoughts, that I think this movie's really great. And please go see it. So yeah, I'll get into, quote-unquote spoilery stuff now. So yeah, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know that it's kind of told, like, in reverse order, because it starts with, like, Act 3, and then it goes to Act 2 and Act 1. And Act 3 is, like, that's the whole, like, third of the movie, is, like, this universe that's, like, basically the whole world, the universe is dying. And then, of course, we find out that this universe is not, like, really, like, the world, but it's the world, like, inside of Chuck's head, like, this character's head, because we find out that he's dying of brain cancer. And, like, there's a scene later on where the teacher is, like, reading this poem and explaining what it means, and it's kind of like how, like, every person, has a whole universe in their head of, like, all the people that they've met, everything that they've done, and this world that we're seeing in the third act is kind of a representation of that. So all of these people that are, experiencing the end of the world are people that he's met. Like, we find out that the nurse and the teacher are actually, like, teachers that were at his school when he was a kid. And it is just kind of, like, this representation of his life, essentially. And I really love stories that do that. I really love, the idea that sometimes, what's going on in your head is more real than what's happening in the outside world, even though it's not, quote-unquote, really happening, because, for him, like, the world basically is coming to an end. It might as well be end because he's dying. And it was really interesting also just to watch, like, for me, like, as a medical student, because we see, like, bits and pieces of his life, and then it isn't, until, like, later on that we see him, like, dying, like, on his deathbed, essentially. And, like, obviously, like, as, like, medicine's, like, I'm gonna be a real doctor in a year, okay, which is terrifying to think about. but, when you're, on your rotations and like, you're seeing patients, day in, day out, and, especially like if you're like specializing like oncology, cancer, like you're really only seeing the patients like at the end of their life, like once they get their diagnosis. And you kind of forget that like that's not really them. Like they have this whole life that they've lived and all these things that they've done, and especially like in the case of like this character Chuck's, like the type of cancer that he has, glioblastoma. I mean, obviously, me and being a very smart, doctor person that I am, not really, but no, like I felt like extra bad because I recognize like the type of cancer that he has, like the glioblastoma is very like aggressive, like progresses very fast, and I was just like, that hurt my heart. That is a nasty way to go. But yeah, like it can be so like difficult to remember that like this isn't really the person that you're seeing. Like just like 6 months ago, whatever, this person was out, dancing on the street, and now, like, he has, like, basically, like, no brain function whatsoever, and is basically just dying on his deathbed. And I feel like that was just really interesting, because, like, it can be, you can kind of, like, lose sight of that, especially, working the long freaking hours that you work as a med student, resident, and then attending doctor. I mean, granted, I'm going into psychiatry, so, like, I'm not touching cancer. Like, I've done oncology rotations, and, like, breaking news to people that they have cancer, like, nah, I'm not touching that. No, thank you. I mean, mad respect to people who can do that, but no, that's not me. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that, like, for me especially, it just, like, touched me in a very significant way. And of course, we get, the second part, which is basically just this, like, snapshot of this one day that he has where there's like this girl that's playing the drums, and then he's like out of town, like at a business conference, and he's just walking by this person playing the drums, and then he stops and he just decides to dance, which of course we get this spectacular, phenomenal dance scene from Tom. Major kudos to him. And he starts dancing with this girl who like just like broke up with her boyfriend, and of course like it's kind of like this reminder that, like, even, like, small, like, significant gestures can, like, have, like, a significant impact on, like, a person's life, like, just, like, having, like, that bit of joy and that bit of, like, happiness, of this, just, like, random person just deciding to dance with her, like, just made her whole day. It was just something that she, like, really needed after, like, going through something like that, and, like, it's impossible not to smile watching that. Like, it's just so sweet, and then of course, like, it just makes it even more heartbreaking when you, like, find out that he is dying. And then, of course, the end of the movie is basically, like, all him as a kid, and it's mostly, the child actor of him, like, as a really young kid, and then Jacob Tremblay comes, like, right at the end, and we get, like, a handful of scenes with him as, like, a teenager, like, about to go off to college. And yeah, I mean, I was surprised that Tom wasn't in it as much as, it kind of seemed like he was going to be, but, I mean, the rest of the cast was so good. I mean, I really can't complain that much at the end of the day, but, yeah, I mean, God, it was just, it definitely was just one of those movies where you like, it ended, and, like, you just kind of, like, sit and take a breath, and, like, nobody wanted to be the first person to get up in the theater, and, yeah, damn, dude, I mean, easily one of my favorite movies that I've seen this year, which I think is saying a lot, because I think this has been a pretty damn good year for movies so far. I've really been impressed with what I've seen overall this year, and I just hope that, it keeps up the momentum this year, and we just keep getting really good movies like this. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what else, but, like, I feel like you kind of just need to just see it for yourself, and, yeah, I hope you enjoy. So yeah, so, I mean, please tell me your thoughts if you did see this movie. I know, I feel like there's, like, limited screenings for this right now, which is weird. I'm not 100% sure why that's the case. I had to go to a different theater than I usually go to see this one because the theater that I usually go to wasn't playing it for some reason. And I know that, like, I've been hearing, like, some people have had to, like, drive really long distances to, like, find a theater that's actually been playing this. So, I mean, I hope that's not the case for you. I hope you're able to get a screening, like, relatively close to where you are, because, I mean, I feel like, I mean, not that this isn't worth, you know, this movie isn't worth, like, driving out, like, a couple hours to see. I mean, I certainly would do that, but, no, I mean, I obviously, like, for your convenience, I would hope that you would be able to get a, you know, a screening somewhere closer to you than that. But yeah, guys, please tell me what you thought of this. Please go see it if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, spectacular movie. I don't really know what else to say. Yeah, really, really great. Thanks, Chuck. Great 39 great years.